Hello, friends. Welcome to today's football predictions on Betkraft. All right, today is a very exciting Saturday morning, and as usual, lots of games. This is a major day where lots of games are going on across the globe, and we are already with our selections for you today, and we looked into these games thoroughly before bringing it forward for you. All right, and in a short while, we'll be looking at these matches one after the other. Looking at how they have performed in recent times, and as well as the performances from home and away perspective before coming to our judgment. All right, and I want to use the opportunity to ask those of us who are actually coming across our video for the first time that are yet to subscribe to kindly take out time to hit the subscription button right now so that you won't be missing out on our exciting games that will be coming up on this very channel on a daily basis. Okay, all right, have you done that? Fine. All right. Without further ado, let's head to the business of today, and we'll be starting today with a La Liga match where Real Sociedad will be hosting the league champions, Real Madrid. Okay, and we'll start looking at Real Sociedad, the home side. They've actually been able to achieve one victory in the past 6 games that they've had so far. They've had 2 draws, but as well, they've seen that 3 losses in the past recent 6 encounters. But looking at the Real Madrid, their away side, they've actually had 4 victories in the past 6 recent games, but they've had 2 draws as well. They had a very shaky start to La Liga this season, but they're judging by their last match victory, they're already up and going. And when you look at how these two teams have fared in recent times, in the past, from home and away perspective, you could see that Sociedad have actually been able to manage 3 wins in the past 10 home games. They've also had 1 draw, but they've lost 6 games in the past 10 home matches. And as a matter of fact, the last 4 home games that they played out so far, so they're losing out on all 4 home games. That tells you that not a very good start for the home side, Real Sociedad this season. And they're looking at Real Madrid. On the other hand, you could see that Real Madrid have achieved 4 victories from away. They've also had 5 draws and 1 loss. That loss was in the preseason against AC Milan, where they lost that by 1-0. And like I said before, they had a very shaky start to the Liga, this season, drawing their match against Mallorca and Las Palmas. And they're back with a victory against Real Betis on that occasion. But in this very one, they'll be looking to bounce back. And looking at the head-to-head performances for both sides, how these two teams fared in the last meetings, you will see that it was Real Madrid who had the upper hand on that occasion. The last time, it was in April this year, Real Madrid won from away by 1-0. And prior to that, we saw Madrid, defeating this side. That was September last year, by 2-1. And it has always been Madrid who has won the entire, the head-to-head performances, much more than Real Sociedad. So in this very encounter, Real Madrid will be looking to prove themselves, and we'll be expecting to see their away side winning this match outrightly. It is a win. That's our verdict for that very game. Okay, and we're looking at the next for the day. It is in Portugal. Premier League, Portugal First Division, we will have Aves who will be up against Rio Ave, and Aves, the home side, have actually won 3 games out of the past 6 recent games, and they've lost 2 as well as 1 draw in the past recent 6 encounters. But our side, on the other hand, Aves have managed to win 2 games, and they've also had 1 draw as well as 3 losses in the past recent 6 encounters. When you look at how these two teams have performed from head-to-head from home and away perspective, you could see that playing from home, Aves is a team who have actually been able to achieve 6 victories in the past 10 home games. They've had 3 draws and losing just 1. That was in May against Tondela, where they lost that by 1-0. And that tells you that 50% of the 60% of the home matches played by this home side have actually seen them achieving victory. That tells you that is a good side that doing very well playing from home. And when you look at which side, on the other hand, we have, they've not won a single match in the past 10 away games. They've had 6 draws as well as 4 losses playing from away. All right, that tells you it's not a very good result in that one is always having to play out a draw when playing from 60% of their away matches that they play so far in the past 10 away games have actually resulted to a draw. So in this very encounter, there are no head-to-head records, but in this very game, judging by what we've seen so far, we would expect to see Aves, the home side, either to achieve a result in this game, not to lose out outrightly. So we do expect to see that home side either winning or draw and under 4.5. That's what valid for this very encounter. Home win or draw and under 4.5 goals. All right, that's what we expect. And that takes us to the next for today. It is in Turkey first division, where we have Galatasaray who will be up against Rizespor. Okay, Galatasaray in the recent games they've had so far, they've been able to achieve 4 victories, but have lost 2 games out of the past 6 recent encounters. But their way side Rizespor managed to achieve 2 wins, 2 draws, as well as 2 losses in the past recent 6 encounters. And when you look at how these 2 teams have performed from home and away perspective, you also will see that Galatasaray, the home side, have actually been able to manage 5 victories, in the past 10 home games, but have also lost 5. Those matches include their preseason matches and and all that. All right, and I've lost 5, but I've also won 5 in the past 10. And Rizespor, the away side, have actually won 4 and have lost 6 in the past 10 away games that they have so far. Let's also remember also that Galatasaray is a very, very good side, and we saw them in the first game where they played out a 5-1 victory against Adana Demirspor. They're starting this season very well, and also in having the likes of Victor Osimhen in their ranks this time around. They'll be looking to do very well in this very one. And the last time both teams met, they had 6-2 victory against this side. That was in earlier this year, March, where they played a 6-2 victory against the Rizespor. All right, that was the result last time. And when you look at the entire head-to-head proceedings, it has actually been Galatasaray who has actually been very dominant of these very head-to-head games. And when you look at the situation, we bring all this together, we know that the Galatasaray have the firepower, have the team to achieve a victory against Rizespor in this one. So it is a home win. That's our verdict for this very game. We expect to see a home win. All right, and that takes us to the next for today. It is in German Bundesliga. We'll have Holstein Kiel who will be hosting Bayern Munich. Okay, and Holstein Kiel came from the Division 2. They were able to qualify for Bundesliga this season, and you see that in recent matches for the home side, Holstein Kiel have actually been able to manage just 1 victory, but they've had 1 draw, and as well as 4 losses in the past recent 6 encounters. And when you look at our side, Bayern Munich, they've actually won everything in the past 6 games that they played out so far. I know they missed out on the league title last year to Bayern Leverkusen, and they'll be doing their best to achieve that once again this year. So when you look at the home side, Holstein Kiel, they have actually been able to manage 4 victories in the past 10 home games, and they've had 2 draws as well as 4 losses in the past 10 home games that they had. And the last home game they played out was against Wolfsburg. We saw them losing out against Wolfsburg by 2-0 that occasion. And looking at our side after Bayern Munich, they've actually been able to manage 5 victories from away, and they've also had 2 draws as well as 3 losses from away, and those losses were against Stuttgart, Real Madrid, and Hoffenheim. Okay, and we saw that Bayern Munich have actually been doing well, starting the league on a very high note. We were able to achieve a victory against Freiburg by 2-0 on that occasion. That was the last 2 weeks, but we do expect to see a strong Bayern Munich side in this one, and we expect to see our side achieving a very dominant, a very strong victory against the home side. So our win, that's our party for that very game, and that will take us to the next. And it is also in Bayern, in German Bundesliga, when we have TSG Hoffenheim who will be up against Bayern Leverkusen, the league champions. And looking at Hoffenheim, they've had 1 victory, 2 draws, as well as 3 losses in recent 6 games that they had so far. Just 1 victory. And away side, on the other hand, Bayern Leverkusen have won 2 games, they've drawn 2, they've lost 2 games. The unbeaten champions of last season. Okay, they're having a very shaky start to season this very season. All right, when you look at the performances from home and away perspective for both sides, you see that Hoffenheim have been able to achieve 6 victories in the past 10 home matches. That as well had 2 draws as well as 2 losses in the past 10 home games that they had so far. And when you look at the other side, away side, Bayern Leverkusen is a very strong side. We know the records that they already have, and they've been able to achieve 7 victories from away, one draw as well as 2 losses. Those losses were in the last season's games where they lost to Atalanta in the finals of UEFA Cup, and as well as they lost to Arsenal FC in the preseason. Those constitute the loss that they've had, and in this also they lost their home game, the very first game of the season, where they lost out to Leipzig on that occasion by 3-2. So they'll be looking to achieve a result in this one and bounce back. As a very big giants that they are in the league, so we do expect to see their West side bouncing back. Because the last time they met was a match this year. We saw Bayern Leverkusen achieving a victory against this side by 2-1, and prior to that, we also saw them beating this side by 3-2. And it has always been Bayern Leverkusen who have always had the upper hand against Hoffenheim, and we do expect to see the West side also once again rising to the occasion and achieving a result against Hoffenheim. It is a away win. That's all for that very encounter. All right, that takes us to the next, which will be the last for the day. Is in French League 1. We'll have Olympique Marseille, who will be up against Nice, France. Okay, when you look at Marseille, the home side have actually been able to achieve 4 victories in the past 6 recent encounters, but have had 2 draws as well. And when you look at away side, on the other hand, Nice have been able to manage 3 victories, 2 losses, as well as 1 draw in the past 6 recent encounters. All right, when you take a look at how these 2 teams have performed from home and away perspective, you can also see that for the home side in Olympique Marseille, in the past 10 home games, they've actually been able to manage 5 victories in the past 10 home games. They've as well seen 3 draws, as well as 2 losses in the past 10 home games that they have so far. All right, that tells you that 50% of the home matches, by Olympique Marseille have actually resulted to a win for Olympique Marseille. That's a good one. And when you look at the away side, on the other hand, Nice, they've actually won 8 games out of the past 10 away games, losing just 2 to Auxerre and Ipswich Town. And the last time, that tells you that they've had 80% victory in the past 10 away games that they played out so far. That tells you it's a very strong side that are doing very well at the moment. Seeing that they've won 80% of their away games they have so far. So, Nice, it's a very nice side, a very wonderful side. And when you look at the head-to-head perspective for both sides, you could see that for both sides, the last time they met was in April this year. We saw Olympique Marseille defeating this, achieving a 2-2 draw against Nice on that occasion. And prior to that, we saw Nice achieving 1-0 victory against Olympique Marseille. And when you look at the entire head-to-head proceeding for both sides, you could see that it has always been testament of goals. Seeing that 8 times out of the past 10 meetings for both sides have actually resulted in a high-scoring encounter, seeing over 2.5, over 3.5 on some occasions. And that's made a verdict for this very encounter, and we'll chose to resort to goals verdict in this very one, and we expect to see a minimum of 3 goals appearing in this very encounter. It is an over 2.5. That's our verdict for this very game. All right, and that brings our predictions for you today on Betkraft to a conclusion. I wish you very best of luck, and I hope the ticket goes great. Remember to always play responsibly. It is only a football game, and it can happen and change the course of the entire expectation. So that being said, tomorrow is another day, and we're coming up with our positions. Remember, we also have Sunday Millionaires game that we always try out once in a week. We'll do that tomorrow. All right. Until then, keep winning.